Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. So, Seth Dillon is the owner of the Babylon Bee, is currently trending on Twitter right now because he's a free speech absolutist, and recent posts of his, which have been deleted, kind of prove him to be a hypocrite regarding that. Now, if you don't know what the Babylon Bee is, it's the conservative take on The Onion. That's about the simplest way you can get it. It's a satire news page. It wasn't always as partisan as it is now. When it started in 2016, it was very religion oriented. Obviously the Babylon in their name. And Seth Dillon bought them out in 2018, and he's taken it down a more partisan route. It's not to say that it hasn't been more commercially successful under him. They've practically tripled their unique users per month. But anyway, he's a big free speech absolutist type. He's made tweets before where he said stuff like, you know, the First Amendment's about your right to be wrong, and misinformation is protected under the First Amendment, which, again, you run a satire site, that's basically what you do. You are a misinformation peddler. His handle on Twitter, his bio, even says that he's a trafficker of misinformation. So, when there's an article floating around about a child being kidnapped on Twitter, and someone quotes that, tagging the FBI and telling them that Seth Dillon is the one who's kidnapped this child, now all of a sudden this is an issue. This is misinformation that Seth Dillon does not approve of because he's the one who's being made fun of. He's the one who's being made a joke out of. And this is clearly misinformation. There's no way anybody can prove that Seth Dillon did something like this. But, what's the difference between a Babylon Bee article saying something like that? Is the difference because this is just a lone account, not connected to a news agency? Because if that's where you're going to argue, that's rich. That conservatives now want you to be legacy media in order to make jokes. I would love if that was your logic behind this. Now, of course, when Seth saw this post, he quote tweeted it talking about, is this even legal? Said that he couldn't report it because that person blocked him, and then directed his fan base to go report this post because, they were making fun of him. And that's actually a terms of service violation, by the way. Mass reporting somebody who did not break the rules, because that post, it didn't. It didn't attack him because of his religion or his creed or his race or anything like that. It was just a misinformation post. And he has drawn some ire in the last few days with some of his takes regarding a child who had to give birth after being sexually assaulted. So he might have had some more people looking at his stuff, looking for an opportunity to make fun of him. But as long as you don't break the rules, what's the deal with saying some misinformation? It's all protected by the First Amendment. You have the right to be wrong, right? Or is it just because you're the one who's in trouble now? You're the one who's being made fun of. Now it's a problem. Now you want the mods to come and fix this for you. I think he realized that he was being a hypocrite too, because all of these posts got deleted. He doesn't want this to be on his page, but fortunately screenshots are forever. And I hope this is an eye-opener for some of his more virulent fans. There's going to be some people who can never be convinced, but if you stand up for free speech absolutism, if you're someone who truly believes that misinformation is protected by the First Amendment, you can't argue with this stuff. I get that it sucks when people lie about you on the internet. Lots of people do that all the time. Some of us have made careers out of that. Some of us bought news agencies so we could have a built-in audience so we could spread our misinformation to a wider group. But if you're okay with producing it yourself, if you're okay with promoting it from others, you got to be okay with taking your licks sometimes. I try to spend my time on this channel being even-handed, level-headed. I don't want to peddle lies. I don't want to spread misinformation. So I would take it personally pretty offensive if somebody lied about me. But, if this is your career, I don't know. To me, it just seems like you're being soft right now. Suppose over the next few days we'll see more stuff out of him. I hope more people keep making fun of him. But, until then, y'all try to have a good day.